Hey, beautiful soul writers. How are you doing today? Today, I want to share with you a little bit about my journey and what worked for me along this journey of life. What worked for me? What was it that changed the way I approached life? What was it that worked when it came for me overcoming my struggle with depression? And I know a lot of you may be new here, so I'm going to just share a little bit. So 2015 is when I started Let's Write Life. And I started Let's Write Life as a result of having overcome years of struggling with depression, years of feeling as though my life wasn't worth living for, not really feeling or understanding my purpose or what I was passionate about, how I could use the things that I loved to make money. I was just going through a lot in my life. And all of the challenges, all of the hurt I was holding on to, all of the things that was bringing me down, making me feel like I was in such a dark place, I decided I wanted to change that. I decided I wanted to do something so that I could figure out how I could be happy, because I was not happy at that time in my life, to the point where I didn't want to live. And it may be shocking to hear that, because you may be coming into this world of mine with journaling and Let's Write Life, and you're like, wow, you may be saying, I didn't know that about her. I didn't know she struggled with depression, and I did. That's the reason why this company exists today. So note right there, sometimes your darkest moments lead you to do things that can really work out for your good later in life. You just got to press through those tough times. So you may be wondering, okay, well, how do I do that? And I want to share what worked for me, so perhaps it could be of help to you, okay? So there's a lot of solutions out there for wellness. One of them is prescriptions and seeing a therapist and, working with a therapist. And that's awesome, because you need to have support. And perhaps you're in a situation that requires you to take prescriptions and things like that. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not getting into the medical field of things like that. But in those situations, you may find yourself thinking that is what's going to be the thing that helps you and changes you, and you're going to get your life back on track. And I want to just say that is not always the case. When you think about cooking, right? You need the ingredients to make an amazing meal. It takes multiple ingredients to bring a good tasting dish to life. You need salt, you need pepper, you need vegetables, you need oil, you need a cooking pan, you need certain things that require you to complete that meal. And so when I think of journaling, I think of my journal and what I write about as my cookbook of life. At this point, I'm just saying it because this is the way I can explain it to you in a way that hopefully makes sense. So in that cookbook of life, I'm writing all the different recipes for how to overcome depression. What recipes do I need for that? How do I build my confidence? What recipes do I need for that? How do I build positive relationships in my life? What recipe do I need for that? What do I need to let go and forgive and set boundaries around me? What recipes do I need for that? And ultimately, journaling became the cookbooks of my life that helped me bring together all the ingredients that ultimately became that thing that changed my life. A combination of multiple ingredients. So that means journaling, my family, music, being creative, going on vacations, taking breaks, exercising, doing the things I love, finding out what I love, connecting with people who care about me, giving back to the community, changing my living environment so that I'm letting go of the old things that are toxic to me, working on my relationships, exercising my faith, having a purpose to live for, figuring out what that purpose is. It took a lot of ingredients for me to change my life. Make sense? So all that to say, when it comes to restoring hope and restoring joy in your life, it takes work and it takes multiple things to make the change happen for you. And I thought that I would go ahead and share this with you because perhaps you're thinking, gosh, what is that? What worked for her? What was it? What was it? And the truth is, it wasn't one thing. It was multiple things that I had to figure out, that I had to put together to create my recipe for wellness. And I started using journaling as that cookbook to write those recipes down. Right. And this is why journaling is so important. So if you're wondering, how do you get out of a dark place? How do I restore hope and joy in my life? You have to start writing about what those things are that bring you joy. What are those things that bring you happiness? How can you start to change your life to make it what you want it to be? How can you become the best version of yourself? Start doing and writing and thinking about all of those ingredients because it's more than just one thing. So perhaps you're like, you know what? I need to talk to someone. All right, therapist. There's one ingredient. All right, and your therapist suggests some type of medication or something, which I am a more holistic person. So if I don't have to do anything medically wise, that's great. But I know there's some people that there's certain things or certain levels, places, stages in your life that you may need those things. That's why we have professionals to direct you and give you the best recipe that works for you. And so perhaps that's a thing. Then there's the, how do I eliminate the broken relationships or the toxic relations in my life that aren't working for me? That's an element of the recipe. Now that you have to get rid of people, perhaps you need to bring in some positive people. Okay, what's the recipe for that? So all that to say, what worked for me was having multiple ingredients that helped me rewrite the story of my life. And I want to make sure I share that in this video, and it's a deep topic. There's a lot that I could continue to express, but if there's one thing I can say that I hope would be helpful to you, is that when it comes to writing the recipe that you need for all the different areas of your life that you may be working on, it comes down to finding the hope for you to rewrite the story of your life. It doesn't come down to one thing. It takes multiple things, and it's up to you to discover what those multiple things are. And that's exactly why I have retreats. That's why I do workshops. That's why I run programs, because everyone's recipe is not the same. What worked for me may not work for you. I love to journal, but maybe you like to sing. We're all different, and recipes require different ingredients for you to get the taste that you're going for. So does that make sense? This is all these topics I'm talking about can be really, really discussed on a deeper level for your specific need. But I just wanted to be sure that today's video makes that point, so that when you're thinking about what is it that works, what caused the change to happen in Latonia's life, it was a recipe designed for me. And I wrote that recipe through journaling. All right, friends, I hope this was helpful to you. Leave comments. Let's begin the conversation about this so that we can start using journaling and using your words to rewrite your life.